So there's always lots of confusion amongst rising e-commerce brands as to what they should focus on. The truth is there are only 3 things that these brands should really take a look at. If these 3 things have been validated, tested, and proven, there's no reason why a brand wouldn't reach or exceed $500,000 a month with their brand. In this week's video, I'll be going over the 3 things that every e-commerce brand should have aligned and perfected, and that once done, one can say they've officially cracked the e-com game code. My name is Justin and I'm the founder of Wizo Media, an e-commerce marketing agency specializing in elevating thriving brands by simplifying e-commerce growth. Before we get started, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, as well as turn on post notifications to be one of the first to know about these cutting edge e-commerce marketing tips coming up on the channel every week. Little disclaimer that I'm throwing out there, I'm currently recovering / still in the middle of battling COVID, so I may have a bit of a weird voice, but no worries, I'm getting better, so things should be back to normal soon. So the first of these 3 things goes with that to say it's your product. For every multiple SKU stores that I've seen or that we've partnered with the agency, there's usually about 3 to 5 products that are their core offering, they're their best sellers, and the rest are usually add-ons. That's especially true for fashion brands, where fashion brands, and even if we're thinking of really big brands like Nike, they already know that they have these core products within each collections that are their best sellers. They sell the most. The rest are there, to show that they have more stock, show that they have variety, but they're well aware that only a few of these will actually sell in bulk. So when I say product, there's a lot of things behind that. So one of these is your product market fit. So it's making sure that there's a fit out there, there's an audience, there are people that will want to buy what you're selling. It doesn't always have to be unique, but it does really help if you bring something unique to the market. I'm saying that because if you think of it, especially within the apparel and fashion industry, it's really rare these days that a brand comes up with a new idea. It's always recycled ideas, or it comes from something that already exists. It's really hard because there's thousands and even probably tens of thousands, if not millions, of brands out there that are selling really similar apparel. So it goes without saying that if you're within the apparel and fashion industry, of course, you'll have a bit of a harder time creating something unique, but it may be regarding the brand rather than a product in this case. One brand that pops up in my mind within the apparel and fashion industry is the Oodie. So the Oodie started a few years ago. They were one of the first, within their industry. Obviously not the first ever brand to have created a product like that, but the way they marketed the product, the way they marketed the brand, everything around that, they found a really nice audience for their product. It's mainly advertised, for families, for, couples. It's mainly of a younger feeling. So it appeals to a mass audience and to a different sort of core, some niche audience, if you may. And that's the beauty with these products, is that one product could appeal and could be marketed to different audiences depending on how you position it. So Oodie is a perfect example of that. Again, you can market that for families. You can market that for couples that would get, matching sets. You can market that for friends. You can market that just for simply a lone person that just wants to feel comfortable. So there's many different ways to market such a product. So your product market fit has to be tested and validated. I mean, one of the best ways to do that is through organic content. If it works organically, if you haven't put any money into that and it does work, it means there's an appeal to it. Obviously, you haven't pushed it that hard. It does work. Or if you want to test the product through ads, then it's just running it to a very broad and wide audience, seeing if it works like that. If it does, again, you have your confirmation that such a product will work in the future. So once you've found a winning product, once you know your products are gonna work, once you've tested, there's a market that will buy your products, there's a resonance out there, it works. The second thing that you want to take a look at is your website. I cannot stress this enough. I've talked about it many times on the channel over, and it's probably not gonna be my last time I talk about this, but your website is one of the most important pieces in your e-commerce brand. Do not be afraid to invest in a really good website. I see a lot of brands being skeptical about, buying a theme, or they're like, hey, I can probably do it myself, and they're already making 20, 30, 40, 50,000 a month, and they're wondering why they're not growing. But when you take a look at their conversion rate, they're between 1%, 2%, even 3%. I mean, 3% is not bad by any means, but amongst the most successful e-commerce brands that we partnered with, they have conversion rates north of 5, 6, and even 7% in some cases. So brands like that really excel in what they're doing. They nail the product part of things, but the website is as equally important. And that goes from the landing page to the product pages, the upselling part of things, how are your pop-ups structured through Klaviyo. everything around that. So really, I cannot stress this enough. Get yourself a good, CRO specialist, or hire someone in-house that can help you build a website. It could just be a freelancer, whatever it is, but investing in a really good website is super important. You could have the best product in the world, you could have the best marketing in the world. It doesn't matter if you do not have a great website, because people just won't convert once they get on there. And the last thing here in this video is marketing. So without these other two, it doesn't make any sense for you to market your products, because if you do not have a great product in the first place, there's no one that's going to buy your product. And if your website is not good, you can bring as much traffic as you want to that website, but no one will convert. Once you validated your product, once you have a great and high converting website, converts, I would say north of 3% would be a good, good place to be. Then of course you can start marketing your brand. When I say marketing, I'm mostly talking about the paid advertising side of things. So there is organic marketing, and organic marketing is key for an e-com brand, because let me repeat that second word, you're a brand. So you're not just a company, you're a brand. So people will buy for the product, but they'll also buy for your values, who you are. It could be about the founder, it could be about how you structure your team. People will be curious about how you structure your organization, and this will help create a strong link with your audience. So if you know you have a strong organic marketing, and if you have a strong audience, people will come back. So you'll have a returning customer rate of 30-40%, and you'll know that from that point you're good to go. So once everything is validated, then you want to start looking at avenues like Facebook ads, TikTok ads, Google ads. Also want to make sure that you solidify everything regarding emails. I mean, emails can be started way earlier in this process. Emails don't really cost anything besides the subscription to the service. So again, Klaviyo is a really good option if you haven't gotten into emails yet. But with that said, we're gonna look at paid traffic avenues. Usually a good place to start with paid traffic is for you to start, experimenting with that internally. If you're right around, this $10,000 to $20,000 a month, then you want to experiment with that internally. You want to start posting basically all of your organic posts that really took off and worked usually are a good indicator that these posts should also work with paid. So try with that first. If that doesn't work, then I recommend you check out other videos on the channel where I share how to create some really good UGC content and what type of content will work for your ads at different stages of the funnel. So cold versus retargeting ads. If you're an e-commerce brand making at least $20,000 to $30,000 a month with your brand, then I would invite you to click on the first link in the description down below and book in a really short 15-minute demo call with our team. We'll give you actionable insights regarding your brand, and worst comes to worst, you leave the call with that insight for you to implement on your own, or best case scenario, we partner up together and we help take things to the next level within your brand. On that note, make sure you check out other videos on the channel for some more useful e-commerce marketing tips, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Peace.